I love basketball. I've always loved basketball. So my passion for the game has brought me to where I am, plus 20 years later.
'Hello, everyone. This is another episode of Let's Talk Sports with Tim McCain, and I have the pleasure of interviewing UNCG Women's Head Basketball Coach Trina Patterson. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Tim. It's great to be here with you, and I'm excited about sharing this experience with you today.
Yes, ma'am. So my first question to you is, what was your very first basketball memory?
One of my first basketball memories was playing basketball with guys, young boys, where my dad was a basketball official, and so he would just encourage me to go play with the guys. He never said, "You can't play. You're a girl," and I just always played. We call it open gym, but pick up in Newport News with young guys, and always was very competitive. I was competitive, and I wanted to win. So those my experiences. Those are my very first basketball, and that's unofficial.
Right.
Unofficial. So we have a lot of official
For
basketball
sure.
experiences, but that was unofficial, and I've been playing for a very long time.
So when you first started playing basketball, what was your natural position playing basketball?
Well, that's a good question. Yeah, because there's really should not be any positions in the game. I think we should be positionless. We shouldn't have these titles. I'm this and I'm that. Either you should be able to do everything. So when I played, and I'm 5'11" right now, but I could play guard, forward, and then you get stuck in certain positions because of your size. But I played the guard position. I could handle it. I could shoot it. I could defend. But as I got in high school, I was the center because I was 5'11". But I also can run the point. When I played in college at the University of Virginia, I was a forward. And so at 5'11", you're small forward. But that's my natural position.
That's amazing. So you were talking about your Virginia. So
Yes.
I know from it was 83 to 87, correct?
Yes.
You were under Debbie Ryan's.
Debbie Ryan, yes.
What was it like playing in the ACC? To my opinion, one of the best conferences ever.
Yes.
What was it like playing under Debbie Ryan's and the ACC? What was that experience like?
So the opportunity to play in one of the top conferences in the nation, at one of the top schools in the nation, was incredible. I went in at didn't start right away and had a chance to start. We were always ranked in the top 20. As a matter of fact, we were ranked number 3 in the nation. We were able to play in a venue where we had one night that was called Hot Dog Night. That night we sold out the arena. Think about that. And it was called Hot Dog Night because we were trying to get a lot of people in the stands. And what a small world this is that Kim Record was in charge of marketing at Virginia when I was a player.
That's
so
amazing.
She actually has some footage on that. And we sold the place out. And we didn't think it could happen at a women's game. Sold it out. I think the reason they called it Hot Dog Night because you can get a hot dog and a drink for 25 cents, which got a whole lot of students in there. And because of that, because people were sitting up in the aisles, we lost seating at U-Hall. That day, we played in front of 20,000 people, and we played Carolina. We had won 20 straight games that year, and we lost that game to Carolina and lost seating. But you think about in the 80s, 83 through 87, when I played, we were selling out arenas, Tennessee. And Gino Oriema was our position coach. So Gino coached me in the forward spot my freshman and my sophomore year. Then he left to go to UConn. I think about Debbie Ryan, who's a Hall of Fame coach in the state. We won 20 straight games. And so I think about that as a player, and then how I experienced that as an assistant coach at Stanford, where just didn't lose. 18 wins, no losses in conference play for 2 years in a row, Final Four. You see what I mean? So
Success.
that helped me to say, hey, you can be excellent. Your goal is to be excellent. Why can't you strive to be a champion? Why can't you win every game? So I had that as a player. I had that as a coach. And so that's what I wanted to bring here when I took over, is to take this program to the next level where we're going to have this process, but we want to be excellent and we want to be in a position where we can win a championship.
Amazing. So my next question to you is, a lot of players, right? They have a desire either to go pro, but others they have a desire to be a coach. Like Chris Laporte talked about, like as a player, he knew he was going to be a coach.
Right.
Playing at Virginia, did you have that same feeling that you knew that you were going to be a coach, or did you have dreams or aspirations to play professionally?
That's a good question. So we didn't have the WNBA. We played professionally if we wanted to. And I had an opportunity to play professionally. At that time, there was a lot of turmoil going on with the U.S. and Europe. There were just a lot of, and so I opted not to because I just didn't want to put myself in harm's way. Originally, I wanted to go to law school. So it wasn't my dream to coach. We didn't see a lot of coaches that looked like us. Not a lot of African American women coaching. None. As a matter of fact, none. Never saw any women head coaches. So it's interesting how you can want to be something when you see examples like that. So I wanted to go to law school because my neighbor was a lawyer. You see what I mean? So you see what I mean? Examples. And but then I took another path. He said, you don't want to do that. You want to, law is at the end of everything, and then you're going to read about it. Be active. He said, go into administration. So what I did is I went to the College of William & Mary. I was working on my master's degree in administration. As I was an assistant coach. My first job was a legislative assistant, though, for one of our local delegates. That was kind of more that law thing, what I was doing, but I changed direction. I'm so happy I did that because when I went to William & Mary as an assistant coach, that coach recruited me out of high school. His name is Patrick Meagle. I got my first job as an assistant coach. I knew I could coach because I could play, and I was recruited. I knew I could recruit. I knew I could do it. I just needed a platform. And so that's what I did. That was my first job. Then as an assistant, for 3 years I was an assistant. I got to be the head coach at William & Mary, at the College of William & Mary. And I was the youngest coach in the nation. I was the 9th youngest coach in the nation at that time at 25 years old.
You were 25
25.
years old.
Can you believe that?
That's
Didn't know what I
so
was
young.
doing. Didn't know what I was doing, but I knew that I had good leadership skills. I had always I was a captain. I'm the oldest daughter of 3 children. I have 2 younger brothers. My parents taught me values and leadership skills. So I really was confident that I can do it. And in year 3, I was named Coach of the Year for that conference.
At 28.
And we won 20 games. Yeah. My coaching journey has been like a cycle. It's been like a cycle. So what I do is I've inherited programs that don't win.
Right.
And then we win.
Turn it around.
And that's just my MO. And so at 3 different universities, I've been Coach of the Year after trying to turn it around. But that was the start of my journey. I didn't start up saying I knew I wanted to be a coach my whole life. You know, that's what some people say, but I love basketball. I've always loved basketball. So my passion for the game has brought me to where I am, plus 20 years later. Loving to go play basketball, just to play. And loving what I do.
It's incredible. So my next question is Who were some? So you definitely coached at different places. But what was it like? Did you ever take any of your experiences as a watching Debbie Ryan's, watching Gino, and then implementing them into your game, into your coaching game?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we didn't have social media. We had books, but my experiences were my playing experiences. So I only knew one way. So I'm playing at Virginia. We're winning 20 games. We don't lose. I'm just gonna copy what we did at Virginia.
Right.
But then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna talk to Gino and I'm gonna say like, what do you guys do? What do you think about that? What do you do with this? And so, of course, my early career was just a mimic of what we did and how I played, and the players take on my personality. So we pressed a lot and we liked pace. Um, we played pretty good defense, and we ran some of the same stuff. However, as my journey started to change from the East Coast, then I got the West Coast at Stanford.
Okay.
It's different.
Okay.
So I look at basketball differently.
Okay.
You know, some stuff is just fluff where you don't need.
Right.
And then, you know, you don't have to be fast. You don't have to be the most athletic player to be the best player.
That's a good point.
Size can sometimes negate athleticism. So I've just learned two different models of playing. I've been able to integrate them, and I attribute that to another one of my mentors, Tara Vanderveer. So I worked for her for 2 years, yes. But I got to know her when I was on a search. So, because you know, nothing just happens, right, Tim? So what I served I served on the NCAA committee, USA Basketball Committee, because I did USA Basketball for 2 years. That's how I met Tara. So for 4 years, we were on the selection committee. We would select the players and the coaches who were involved in the USA process. So every May, I would go to Colorado Springs, and I spent, I think we were like 2 weeks together. That's how I got to know her. So when she had an opening, she said, "Would you like to be my assistant?" Well, I'm interviewing. I got the job on the spot. That's how I got that job.
At Stanford, and you coached a lot of great players at Stanford too. Some that play professionally right now.
Oh yeah, the Agumakays. So Nneka Agumake and Chinea Agumake were first round draft picks. They were number one players. They're playing now. To see how they operate, every day, and excellence. To see, because Tara Vanderveer is a Hall of Fame coach. She's in the Hall of Fame. To learn from her and her program, the way her mind works, I became a better coach. And I became a better coach working as an assistant. So now I take this and then I go back east. Now, the reason I came back east so quickly is because my father was sick.
Oh, wow.
And so I was still at Stanford. And then we left because he was sick. And he was in ICU. And I had a chance to go to ODU to come back home. So that move was a personal move. It wasn't a professional move.
Right.
In that move, being there for 3 years, it enabled me to get this position.
That's incredible.
But yeah,
So
that was my journey.
as a coach, you also have a gift of looking for recruits and also training. What do you look for when it comes to recruiting? Like, what kind of players do you look for?
Right. So recruiting is the lifeline of an operation. So we say recruit daily or perish. You know, and I say sometimes you can paint wings on a pig, it still won't fly. Now, what does that mean? That means the player's gonna be what the player's gonna be.
Right.
So you're gonna get what you see. So, you know, when you recruit players, you have to just take them for who they are. So what I mean is this: if I want an aggressive player in my program, and I look at a kid and she's not aggressive in high school, she probably won't be aggressive in college. That's just not her MO. If I want this post player that's this aggressive, go after, rebound out of position player to do the same thing in college, I'm not going to change her makeup. So you need to do your background and be comfortable with who you get. Too many times coaches get frustrated because they want you to be something you're not. They want you to be this power post. But she was never like that. She was a finesse player. So make the finesse player. Now, you may have to change your system. So I like size. I like to recruit size.
Okay. No.
I like length.
Length.
I look at players' arm length, their hands. Skill level is very important for certain positions that you want.
Right.
I can make a forward, a face-up forward guard length if you have the skill level. Our team is really long. Yes. Nadine Solomon is about 6 foot guard. Alex Will. So we have some small guards, which you have to have, but they have to have some skill level. Alexis Willie is 6 foot.
Wow.
Aja Boyd is 6'2". Tasia Twitty is unconventional power forward. She's
right,
like Barkley. Yeah. But she's strong. I mean, she's the fastest player on the team.
I did not know that.
Every sprint, she will win it, and she wouldn't look like it. She doesn't look like that. But size, I like. What I'm doing now that I didn't do when I got here though is recruit some core values.
Okay. Because
I had what I had. I couldn't recruit that. Along the way, you got to recruit some things that are intangible. So we look at these things. This is our 5 core values. It starts with the G. Recruit kids have gratitude. So are you thankful? Are you thankful for the good and the bad? Recruit kids with integrity. Do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. Right? Recruit kids who have some sense of servitude, serving their team and their community. Recruit kids who believe in unity. So when I'm recruiting and I'm talking to them, I want to be in the locker room with somebody I can lose with first. Because if I can lose with you, we're going to win. It's easy to win.
Right.
So what are you talking about? Are you talking about us or me? That's unity. And then recruit some kids with some humility. Because humility is the new smart, I believe. Because if you are boastful, and that means you never wrong. So how can I be a good teammate? And how can I come talk to you if you don't have any humility? So when we recruit kids, we listen for words, buzzwords, thank you, yeah, my teammates got me open, just it has to be some of that thing. If not, the character or the core values, you won't buy into what we're doing.
Wow. So my next question is so a lot of coaches and players, they have this bond, okay? It's family bond, in my opinion. I know like Coach K, he's a great example because Coach K, now the players might not like him while he's, while they're coaching under them. But after they graduate, it's like it's a family.
Yeah,
like, true. What kind of relationships have you gained through the years with some of your players or some of your former players? Right. And what does that mean to you?
That's a good question because this is year 4 for me. So the relationship starts when they graduate. A lot of it. I have a former player, E.J. Ajumba, who played here 2 years ago. She hated me when I first started coaching her. Now, I coached her first at Old Dominion. And she transferred in here.
I remember that.
Yeah. But she hated me. She could not. She's like, and then the cool thing is, right now, we talk like once a month. Like, we really love each other. And the cool thing is, when her second year there, when I was there, and the player came in, the other player said the same thing. I can't stand Coach Pat. She said, don't worry, I was the same way last year. What happens is they don't like it when you hold them accountable. So if I'm going to hold you accountable and I want you to be better, it's going to hurt first. So people don't like to feel uncomfortable. Yeah. But at the end of the day, when they say, I'm trying to make you better. You want to be good? We're going to do this. So if I can improve you, you're going to be uncomfortable. It may not be because everybody pats you on your back, out of high school. And Now, coach is going to stretch you.
Right.
So if I'm going to stretch you, you're going to be uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, I care about you because I'm going to pour into you. I'm going to pour into you and I got you. That's what I tell them. I'm going to pour into you and I got you. At the end of the day, the relationships form.
I agree.
But so EJ and I, we talk. She brings her daughter here. You know, I talked to her right now about some of the issues. She's playing professionally right now. We do have players on the team who want to be professionals. I want that. I want to recruit somebody that wants to play pro ball. When I hear that, I'm like, ding, ding, ding. At least you want to do this after college, or you're thinking about it, which means you're serious about the game.
Wow.
So EJ is playing pro. Nadeem wants to play pro. Tasia Twitty has talked about playing pro. These freshmen that we have, some are saying, hey, I want to play pro. So that means that it's serious to them. Our culture has changed, whereas they're workers, they're in the gym all the time. It's not, it's all about this balance of ABCs, academics, basketball, character.
Wow.
ABCs, you know.
So my last question to you is, what kind of advice would you give to a young person who wanted to potentially play basketball and even play professionally? What kind of advice would you give them?
So, well, it depends on how young, because I would say do it because you love it, not because you're trying to get something from it. I never played basketball hoping I was going to get a scholarship. You know, I didn't even know that was possible. I love basketball. And when I had an opportunity to have multiple coaches contact my coach, I was like, okay, I didn't even know I could do this. Now I'm going to get a full scholarship. So where could I go with this? So do it because you love basketball. And then be patient and wait to reap the benefits from it. Basketball can open a lot of doors because of basketball, because of what basketball has done for me. I've been able to go do this for a living, and we know that coaching is not for everyone. But for me, the basketball piece has allowed for me to travel. I've been out the country to both Cuba and China because of basketball with USA Basketball. It's allowed for me to have some great relationships. It's allowed for me to help mold the lives of the young women, so they come in as young girls, teenagers, and they leave as women, and then they're productive citizens, and the world can be a better place if we have women in leadership who have some core values, who understand teamwork, who understand how to give back to their community, and want to make people better. And so basketball itself, it's just a mechanism for growth.
Wow.
And so I would say do it because you love it. And then if the end goal is for you to get a scholarship and play in college, so be it, because there will be a place for you. But if not, just do it because you love it.
Wow. Thank you very much, Coach Patterson.
Yeah.
It was a great honor. Great honor, really.
All right, Tim. It's been awesome.
Yes, ma'am. That's all for Let's Talk Sports with Tim McCain.